Yo yo, it's Road Dog Does Politics, back with another video. So, this morning, Labour Party, the Labour Party in the UK, have announced officially their party manifesto and a list of all the policies that they are going to publish, have published, want to publish, for everyone to see. And it is the most progressive piece of policy that I've seen for decades, and I've not even been around for, more than 2 decades. So, I mean, it's just so inspirational, and I heard him speaking today at the University of Bradford about what he was going to include in it, and, what really mattered to society for the many, not the few. I believe he really is a man of the people, despite what you may think about Jeremy Corbyn. I know a lot of people don't necessarily agree with him, they don't like his just general, persona or whatever. But I personally just think that he is like a once-in-a-lifetime politician who, he's spent his career working on progressive policies like this and really pushing to make things better for people generally. And, I'm starting to believe that this is, a do-or-die situation where, if you don't, I'm biased, but if you don't vote Labour, we're going to get stuck with this austerity-driven Tory government for another 5 years, which will mean 12 hard, slogging years of Conservative government decimating public services and making you think that it's all right because it's for the public good and it's getting rid of the deficit, and we're doing this because we want to save money, even though we are continuously putting money into wars in the Middle East, continuously spending money on Buckingham Palace, on Westminster, on Trident, on nuclear weapons, on nuclear power stations. I mean, it doesn't quite add up for me, but you can make up your own mind. So I've just had a really brief look at the manifesto behind me, and it's on my laptop, and again, I don't think I've ever seen something so progressive in my life, other than Bernie Sanders. And I just find it so amazing because it just truly represents the values of Jeremy Corbyn, the left of the Labour Party. I know it's a little bit split at the moment, but this is just truly wonderful. I just think it's absolutely amazing what it's doing for people and what it wants to do for people. You can see that he genuinely cares about society and raising people's living standards just generally from what they are currently. Yeah, I just love it. And for starters, you've got improving housing, you've got education. He wants to set up a new national education service similar to the National Health Service. Renationalising the railways is another one, putting it back into the hands of the public, becoming nuclear free eventually, not going to war straight away when someone asks. He wants to be more diplomatic and use like his influence on foreign policy to not create more war, but just to talk more with other countries and be more diplomatic. Greener energy as a whole, he wants to put a cap on it. Social care, he wants to set up another sort of service to do with that, with like the elderly. Loneliness he's doing, mental health, autism, just so many aspects. It just sounds, when you read it, it just sounds brilliant. And people will say like, how are you going to pay for this? And like, I think they have set out some markers on how they're going to do it. For example, taxing the 5% of earners who earn more than £80,000 a year, and the 95% don't have to, that won't change. They'll continue paying the same, which I think is great. I think that's really fair. I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself, really. I mean, I couldn't really say anything more than that. It's an economy that works for everybody. It's a society, it's a system that works for the many instead of the few. And I know I'm repeating a slogan and it might be annoying, but it's in everybody's interests. It's in everybody's interests. And I don't know if you've been watching the news at all, but you know, the size of his Jeremy Corbyn's crowd, the crowds that he gets, they're massive. They're absolutely huge. There's thousands of people. There are people on trees wanting to get a glimpse, like he's some sort of messiah. And, you know, compared to Theresa May, who gets, like, she has to helicopter people in because she can't get the crowds in, and all the crowds do are, you know, the other day Theresa May confused learning disabilities with mental health like it's the same thing. What? Like, what? And she has this thing where she doesn't talk to people, she talks at them. And she just statement after statement. She sounds like a robot. She sounds like a robot. Whereas if you listen to Jeremy Corbyn talk, and I know people might have issues with him for one reason or another, but when you listen to him talk, he sounds genuine. He sounds like he means it. I think I said this before, but he has been working his entire career has been bent on improving people's lives and improving equality for people. I mean, he was there when apartheid in South Africa. He was, you know, making progress with that, and he's just brilliant. And like people say, he doesn't have the charisma, he doesn't have the drive. I don't really mind, to be honest, because when he speaks, he sounds like he means it. He sounds sincere. He sounds like he gives a shit, which is more than I can say for other politicians through the decades. So when you go to the polls on the 8th of June, I really, really implore you to really look into these manifestos. I think the Conservative one is out in a few days. But just make sure you know your facts and you know all the information before you just make some people just make decisions like that, and they just think, well, I voted Tory all my life, so I'm just going to do the same this time. Really think about it. I really, really want you to think about it, because this is a choice that we're facing. We either carry on down the road of austerity and a hardline Brexit, and which half of the country didn't vote for, and I'm sure that a lot of people didn't want to leave the single market or whatever, but that seems to be happening now. And, you know, we've got a choice between that or, you know, a truly progressive Labour Party that we've got, you know, a hope of becoming a better, a fairer, a more equal society. And, you know, whatever that costs, you know, I hope, fingers crossed, touch wood, that it's going to be better than what the Tories will bring. But come 8th of June, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be voting Labour. So yeah, vote Labour, and I'll see you in the next video.